Welcome to a little look at a game called My Time at Portia. This is a game in early access on Steam, currently alpha build 6. Now, this isn't going to be a full-length Let's Play because obviously they're still working on the game, but I wanted to give it a quick look because I've been playing a crap ton of it. I played it back when it was still a demo, which you can download for free if you don't want to pay for the early access, but they've been constantly working on it, improving the quality of life. There's been a bunch of changes. I am joined for this on a more recent convert, someone who just picked up the game a couple weeks ago, Skippy.
Oh, this is so my kind of game.
I think I'll go talk with the research center first. They might think of something.
So we've been trying to decide what the game is most like. We've sort of narrowed it down to it's Minecraft meets Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley.
Yep.
It's one of the many crafting games that has flooded Steam, and before you turn off the video, it actually works for this game because it's not simply the flavor of the day filler for an incomplete concept. Like, you and I were both pretty disappointed with We Happy Few.
Yes.
Because that was a game that had a lot of promise, and it just ended up being another crafting survival game. In this, the crafting is the point. Your character is a builder.
Right. You own a workshop in... Well, I won't say too much until we get into it, but then I will say a ton. But it's awesome. Oh, I see you're doing a monster factory. That's nice.
Yep. You get to customize your character. You have a choice between a boy and a girl. There is voice acting in the game. It's not great. You can tell it's not really directed. It's pretty low budget. It's not really focused. I'm not worried about... I'm not going to harp on it too much.
No. It's not great, and it's not finished, and it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's totally fine. But our character is named... It's spelled Lurmph. The pronunciation should be more like Rumph.
Oh.
We're coming up on Portia.
Whoa, that looks beautiful.
What are you gonna do there?
What are you gonna do?
Sorry, Hairball. What are you gonna do, Rumph?
Something like that.
We get someone like you once in a while.
I like that no matter what she looks like, she's got this warm, pleasant London accent.
Absolutely. And is dressed... I don't know.
Well,
In short pants.
Thanks.
The game is a cavalcade of accents.
It's amazing just how much she looks like some sour old granny from an anime.
That's what I want her to look like, this super frumpy old woman.
A Ghibli Grandma.
Yeah. The aesthetic of the game was directly inspired by Studio Ghibli. Woo!
Presley, how do you do?
Ah, good to see you again. Hope you had a pleasant journey from Bonnerock, right? That's quite far.
So one of the things I really like about the game is
Anyway,
they've fleshed
I'm
out
here
the
to show
world
you
building.
your workshop,
Portia
so
isn't just
please follow
some
me.
place
It's pretty
in
close.
nowhere. Like, there are surrounding
I wonder what
countries,
it's like. I
there's
didn't get to know my
politics,
proxy
there's
well.
political upheaval, there's
No one's
wars,
been working there
both
since your
in the present and the
father left
past.
so many years ago.
There are things that you get
He
up
was a
to
good
that
friend.
have to do with everything that's happened in the past and the present. This right here is just following around Presley. You're not allowed to explore just yet. This is just to get you used to the controls. The game controls really well with a mouse and a keyboard. You don't need a controller for this.
No. Honestly, I like the mouse and keyboard a lot better. It's a lot like Stardew, at least earlier builds of Stardew.
Your workshop. This place sure has seen some wear and tear.
What a dump!
What do you think?
Looks homely.
Now then,
She said
here's a
homely.
letter from your father.
The subtitle said
He asked me to
homie.
present it to you
I'm
when
not
you
sure.
see this house.
Freudian slip?
They're still working on the text. Like, there's a crap ton of capitalization and comma typos everywhere.
So good. Some parts aren't even voiced. But it seems that Dad is kind of a... kind of a
Here's
deadbeat,
the
off
workshop
adventuring.
handbook of your paws. Take your time.
Hey, you wanted a life? Here you go.
Here, have this
Around Peach
dump
Plaza. Can't
with a
miss
fence.
it.
There's a fence around this dump.
At this point, Presley's letting us read his mind.
Got it. Tomorrow.
Anyway, I'll leave you be. Get some rest.
As best
Bye,
you can,
Presley.
anyway.
Thanks for your help.
And the game immediately knocks me out.
Yep. Presley blackjacks you on the way past. Off to bed.
Ow, my head hurts.
See?
I didn't sleep well at all from all the breeze coming through the cracks.
Our
last
house
night.
sucks right now.
What a dump!
This is how we're going to wake up every day until we can fix these broken floorboards. They're really easy to fix, just we need to get some proper tools. But until we do that, we're going to wake up with half stamina every day. But generally, in how the house works, your house is pretty cool. When you get furniture, you can place them in here, and then those will add permanent boosts to your stats.
And there are a lot of stats.
And a lot of furniture.
Oh, there's so many.
But this is the world of Portia. It's a world where you can punch and kick things.
Yeah, everyone is extremely well trained in hand-to-hand.
And we'll be doing plenty of punching and kicking things.
Always. It's your primary method of interacting with the world.
So to start off, since we don't have any tools, we just need to pick up stone and wood off of the ground. Just look around for twigs. Look around for anything that's glittering. That means you can pick it up.
This is one of them bootstrap kind of games.
Yep. Wood and stone is our basic construction materials. Herbs and snakeberries are health recovery items. Caterpillars are bait for fishing. That's going to be much later. We do have 2 full windows worth of inventory space, but we need to pay money to increase our inventory, so that's a prolonged sequence. We do get a map of the entire game world. It's fairly large. It's not too empty, there's plenty of stuff in there, but there's only a few places where you really go and do anything. A lot of the map is sort of covered in this dust because we haven't discovered yet. Pretty much everything that's covered is the wilds. That's where there's no real civilization and it's full of violent monsters.
And sometimes neat stuff to collect.
Our plot is very small, but when we get money, we can increase the size. It's only until you increase it the 3rd time that it's really sizable enough. Early on, you're going to be very hard-pressed for space. We start off with a work table. This is where we can craft our tools and a bunch of other things, furniture, some gifts and healing items. This right here, the assembly station, is where we do our bigger crafting, and we're going to be looking at that later in the video.
On the topic of what you can do in this game, sort of an overview, if you will. In addition to the crafting, there's also obviously farming.
Yeah.
And fighting. And I think for the most part, most of your money is going to come from doing jobs for the Commerce Commission. But yeah, in terms of agriculture, I found it was pretty hard to do any kind of agriculture until I had like the 2nd plot upgrade.
Yeah, the game is a bit Stardew Valley, but the farming is very much not the focus.
Oh, very much not. So, this is neat. This is incredibly neat.
And you are? Oh, you must be the new builder the mayor told me about. I'm Minister Lee of the Church of Light. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Look at this little UI when you talk to people. They give you some options.
Have you ever heard of the story about
This
the
first time that we
dancing
talk to
robot?
people,
This
we
happened
get the
several
introduction,
years ago.
and then we get a +1 to their relationship. After this point, when we talk to them, we press chat to talk to them again, and that'll give another boost to their friendship. We can also give people gifts. And most people, we have the option to do something else with them, like play rock, paper, scissors, or to spar with them,
Sad story.
just in case you wanted to punch someone out.
Oh, hi there. Are you new here? I'm Nora. I'm a missionary at the Church of the Light. Nice to meet you.
Church of the Light is one of the cool world-building parts of the game. So, it's hard to tell, but this game is post-apocalyptic.
Extremely post.
Very post. We live hundreds of years after the fall of civilization. The world was covered in darkness and death. And then suddenly, the dude who is that statue that we can't see, it's the middle of the fountain, his name is Peach. He saved the world. He's like techno Jesus.
Who might you be?
And now everything is nice again. And that's one of the things I really like about the world, actually, is that it's a post-apocalyptic after everything is okay again. Usually we don't see that. Usually we're in the middle of the chaos.
If you have an ailment,
Yeah.
please come to the
So it's like all of the, things from the before time are now
You
these
must be the person the mayor was
mysterious
talking about.
ancient
Kind
relics.
of simple,
And so the
but
Church of the
also
Light
friends.
thinks that they should all be destroyed,
Papa Bear gets agitated
because
quite
mankind
often
can't be
during summer due
trusted
to his thick
with
fur.
relics of the old
I need to
times.
figure out a way to help him cool down.
They blame the technology for causing the wars.
Are you new here? I'm Russo.
On the other side of it, in fact, on the other side of the town is the research center, and they want to learn about the artifacts and the relics. So there is a conflict going on there. Unfortunately for them, the church is sort of a major player, so they have to cooperate with them in some sense.
Yeah.
Any actual weapons has to be turned over to the church to be destroyed, but other relics they can research. So it's got this nice dynamic.
So you get neat things like blenders.
Yeah.
And it's not a mutually exclusive choice. Basically, it boils down to certain items you can turn into the research center to learn how to build new and cool things. And you can trade those same items to the Church of the Light in order to get farming stuff.
Now, early on, there are chests just all over the town, and I recommend going around and searching them out. One thing that helps is that the game's physics aren't super sophisticated. Any very slight outcropping, you can basically Skyrim it.
They got real sticky faces in Barnarok. It's kind of your natural ability.
And there's some good starting items just here on the wall separating the town. The talisman I just picked up, I can equip that and get an increase to my defense.
Hell yeah.
The salad sauce, which it's a strange item to find, but I can eat that to recover my stamina. Same with the dried apple slices. The sauce is stamina recovery over time. The apple slices is immediate recovery.
Not only that, but the apple slices are actually a percentile base. So
Yeah.
they get better the better you get, which is real nice. And, I mean, salad sauce is just delicious. Slam a bottle of Cool Ranch like it's a yop.
The money for the game is called goals, which I feel like was supposed to be gold, and then they pressed the key right next to D instead of D.
I just went with it. Oh, look at this round cat. Hey, little friend.
With a little cowlick.
Pinky is a small friend who you can adopt.
If you befriend her enough.
Making friends is real hard in this game. Just like in life.
Takes a very long time, especially with a cat. Most of the characters will have commissions for things you can build, and that will increase your friendship with them. The cat, you pretty much just has to give it gifts.
Just tasty fish forever.
Than the other foolish builder in town. The book is the ladder of human
Isaac, I think, is the
progress.
only character
So
who you
I'm
can play cross 5 with, and I cannot figure out that game for the life of me.
It's tic-tac-toe, basically. Or Connect 4, played on a Go board. You're just trying to get 5 in a row. Which is interesting, because I surmise that somebody found a Go board and some pieces at some point, and they're like, well, we don't know how to play this, so let's just make up a game.
I keep pressing escape instead of the inventory button.
It's okay. Now you've got 2 talismans, which means you're double lucky. Way to go, Battle Granny.
Yeah. You do have the option of remapping the keys. Usually the inventory is I. I've switched it to tab since most of the other games I play like this have tab for inventory.
Great. Let me
I
introduce you
love
to
the dude
Commerce
right there. That's Antoine.
the organization that orchestrates trade across the entire
Antoine
Free
is
region.
so
This
positive.
is the Portia branch. We're
Delightfully
pretty
cheerful,
busy throughout
delightfully
the
camp.
year.
He's
Now then,
always
give me
so
your
supportive
building
whenever you
test.
build something.
This
He's
is
like,
pretty
oh, that
easy.
was super
Make an
quick.
axe
Oh,
and
you did a
pickaxe
great
and build
job.
them to me. You need to have wood and stones to make these. You can gather them on your own or buy them from the Total Tools in Central Square.
Do not ever buy
After you
wood
have
or
the raw
stones,
materials,
you
need to
cowards.
craft the
You
items
will
on a
never
work
need to
table.
buy it.
I saw
No.
your pa's hold one in your yard, so check and see if that one still works.
I only recently discovered that you can turn hardwood into regular
Don't
wood.
forget to finish the guild's
Yeah.
test and get yourself your
And then my
builder's
problems were
license.
solved.
I have faith in you.
Most of the wood you'll get is just regular wood. You'll also get hardwood,
Hi there.
especially by
I know
chopping
who
down
you are.
trees. And then
I'm
at the work
Antoine.
table, you can convert one
We'll
piece of that
probably
to
be
5
seeing each
pieces
other
of wood.
alive. Dr. Zoo, my idol. Every time I think of him, my heart flutters.
Never spar with Antoine.
Because you'd wreck that pretty face.
He's a shit wrecker.
Is he, like, shockingly powerful?
He is so strong.
This is a commerce board. This is where you get most of your commissions. We can't take any of these until we've actually gotten our license. They go in rank from D all the way up to, like, double S. And just going from rank D to C is a massive difficulty jump.
Oh, yeah.
Yo there. You must be the new builder in
Look at
town.
this friggin'
I'm
guy.
Arlo, leader of the civil
This guy's
guilds.
cool.
I've only
Leader
got
of the
one
Civil
rule.
Corps.
Funny business and everyone could be happy.
They can never nail down the proper pronunciation of it. Like, the actual pronunciation of the word is core, but a lot of people, especially in-game, pronounce it
Civil
corpse.
Corps will compensate you well for your efforts.
That's what happens when you get your voice actors on Discord.
Welcome to town, new builder.
Oh, the faces are so good in this game. Everyone looks just so weird.
And a lot of people just have these double rectangle... Oh, hi, Arlo.
My son Gus is
Those double rectangle mustaches.
except for his
This is a side effect of the apocalypse. People stop being able to grow hair on the middle of their lip.
I like Gale's voice because it reminds me of Mr. Frisbee from that one episode of Twilight Zone.
Holy jeez. You're right.
And this is cool. This telephone box, it's sort of like a direct line to the developers, because they give you a little message to early access players.
And Rolf is really not impressed with them. She's just like, okay.
Back in the demo, they had a particular message regarding it being a demo as well.
You're that new person. You just inherited that workshop outside.
Sonia's really great.
Sorry. Where are my manners? I'm Sonia.
she talks like she's reading them off her cue cards because she doesn't know how to interact with people.
Try 'em all.
I rehearsed this morning. I've got social anxiety. It helps me to figure out what I'm gonna say.
Knight's sword is in his justice and loyalty.
Which I think is interesting. Is like he's a mixture of
Knights can always
southern
use
United
Irish
States,
line.
Mexico,
Cheers.
and England. Like an English Knight of the Order.
He also runs a restaurant, but he's this, like, night fetishist.
Yeah. The restaurant you'll want to come to early on in the game, because it's a quick and easy way to restore stamina. You can only eat one thing per day. But if you've got the money, go for it. He's also got a game room, which is pretty cool. Costs a crap ton of the medals you get in order to get anything.
Mm-hmm. But there's some pretty nice stuff.
There's darts and target practice.
You know, if you're feeling especially work-shy that day. Like, you know what? I don't want to smelt bars. I think I'm gonna go play the Lucky Cat machine.
Look at this lady.
Hello, new builder. That is who you are, right? I'm May. I work at the newspaper. See you
Newspaper
around.
doesn't do much.
I just got a news.
There are a couple of requests and what have you can do for the
You'll have
newspaper.
to read about it later.
For the most part, you're not going to hear from them very much.
No. You can go, like, read the headlines outside of the office, and it's got cute little news stories about stuff that you've done. And if you do enough requests, they actually start giving you a certain amount of money every month.
I like this little dude. Look how proud he walks.
You're new, right? I'm Jack. Nice to meet you. I hope you have a good time in town.
Thanks, kiddo.
I don't know why the girls
Cool
always
hat.
mess with Toby. He's actually a really good adventurer in my book. One time,
Now, if you look in the background, you can see these llamas hopping around.
legendary ghost girl.
Any animal that's not explicitly a barn animal, you can punch to death.
Probably just laughed it off.
Which we're gonna do.
Take this, colorful llama. Come on, you little poop factory.
I picked up these worn gloves in a chest that was right next to my house. Just to give you a starter weapon, I guess. Now, these llamas go all the way up to level 5. Do not worry about the level. As long as you keep hitting these guys, they will get stunned out of any attack they're gonna do.
Yeah, they're really easy to stun lock.
And killing them gives you a bunch of stuff. Meat is a healing item, the rest are construction materials.
You ever had much luck with cooking in this game?
Very little. You kind of need to look up certain recipes.
Really? I mean, I'm sitting on something like 200 meats, 200 delicious meats, and you can't really cook them into anything good.
Nah.
Food's kind of worthless, unfortunately.
So level 5. Ahead of what I am right now, I think. And still killed him. No problem.
You quite literally kick the crap out of them.
Yeah. Animals will also drop their feces. And you can just see the poop on the ground around animals anyway and pick it up. And that's one way you can get seeds.
I love to root through poopy and get seeds.
The smallest of the Hulu brothers.
We passed by a guy, his name is Oaks. We talked to him in town. And he's half naked except for a bear skin that he's wearing. That's because he's sort of a wild man. He was actually adopted by a bear, which I think means he killed the bear's baby and wore his skin, and the bear was like, alright.
I would believe it, actually. That bear is so lackadaisical.
Now there's a little island in the middle of water right there we cannot reach. There's a bigger island nearby, which we also can't reach, but one of our first major side quests is building a bridge to get there. So that one treasure chest right there is going to be taunting me for pretty much the rest of my life.
Yep. I have no idea how to get out there. You can't swim.
No. You get in the water, you immediately respawn on the ground.
Yeah, it's like a really long, drawn-out Zelda thing before you get the flippers.
Here are a couple of the stranger enemies. This is sort of like a hermit lobster.
They can do a number on you.
Yeah. You do have a dodge roll, though. You can very easily Dark Souls it if you need to.
Just watch out for your endurance, I suppose. It seems like every monster in this game has an extremely weird face. Like those sea urchins, those little cuties with the umbrellas.
Oh, I got mucus too. Blech.
Oh, delightful. Some of that sticky green stuff.
I think the worst part is you make dough in this game for cooking out of flour and mucus.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I got some wheat.
Hey, sweet. That's great.
Oh, look at the cows.
Oh, they're not spherical, but they're pretty cute. I love how gangly the babies are. Just like a real cow.
Now I'm heading back to the port. Mostly because the reason that I was trying to get away from Presley at the start of the game is because there is a chest around there. But he just won't let you pick it up yet. Don't worry about the shell, and don't worry about the sand. You can't get sand from that one spot on the beach. Later we'll get the option to mine in the mines, and you get so much sand from in there, it's not going to be a problem.
Just tons of sand. What you want, though, is a ton of mucus. Just trust me on this one, folks. Just have hundreds of mucus. You want just barrels of the stuff.
Now, one kind of amusing thing you might have seen inside that building, there was no inside textures to it.
No.
So we were just looking through it. They still got little things they need to iron out.
Yeah, I mean, still early access. But pretty good, you know. It's not terribly nuanced just yet. Like, the combat is, if I'm honest, quite boring.
You just hammer the buttons.
Just click. It's a click fest. Maybe dodge roll.
We might have seen, we met this guy at the very start of the game, but there are a crap ton of, I think there's like, I think they're quintuplets, or more, maybe there's like 7 of them.
There's so many of these round little fellas.
All of them have different accents.
And they have Hulu branded shirts. Isn't that wonderful?
And that reminds me, the sea urchins are flying around on A&G umbrellas. A&G is one of the construction groups in town. We talked to them to upgrade our house and our workshop.
So what's our ad campaign for this year? We're gonna tie merch to monsters? Alright.
Can help them fly around so they can terrorize everyone easier.
That's great.
Now, it's after midnight. This guy's trying to go to bed, but he got stuck.
You might have heard of me. I'm famous around these parts. Mac, McD, ring a bell?
McDonald's the guy we talked to eventually get animals.
Signature. I'll be famous one day. I'm gonna start my own restaurant selling beef patty burgers. I can't promise you can get it by
He's so optimistic.
I'm gonna get famous making something you can't get. That's how it works. Anyway, I'm back to sanding my nose.
Nope, don't help me. I can do this. I'm good. Don't help me.
Now, it can be a little easy to forget this ranch, but it's a place you want to go to buy salt and some food and what have you.
Yeah, and seeds. Pretty much all the seeds. I mean, they grow seasonally. Oh dear, what have you done?
Do not pick up these animals. The other animals do not like it.
Don't harass the cuties. They will peck you to death. They're even more ornery than cuckoos.
The cuckoos give you a grace period.
That's right. The cuckoos at least give you a couple of free shots. Like, there's no way that you meant to do that. I'll let you off with a warning.
Go ahead, making basic stone axe and pickaxe.
Welcome to Portia. Here's your caveman tools.
There are big trees and very big rocks around here. We need to upgrade our tools before we can break into those. But these smaller rocks and those smaller trees, we can take down no problem. Now, one nice thing. My stamina bar does go down pretty quickly early on, but you'll notice when I was dashing, there was a circle meter going down. That's separate from your stamina. That's what enables you to dash and to dodge roll. So in total, you need 36 wood in order to completely fix your floor. And I do like the sleep is just instantaneous.
That's right. It's also the only time that you can save, so that's fun.
Yeah. But that was our first night in Portia. It's sort of like an information overload, but I'm sure we'll catch up on anything that we missed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a simple game. It's simple and meditative, and it's just a chill good time. You should buy it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I like about it. It's very relaxed.
The stakes have never been lower.
Until you go into a dungeon.
Oh, and then in that case, you better keep your head on the swivel.
But even then, in the dungeons, time doesn't progress.
No, that is true, except for 2 later dungeons, in which time progresses quite fast.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my time at Portia, the beginning of the game.